money in the rainy day fund to be able to fund the things that we think are critical going forward, or the possibility of additional tax cuts. Now, not only did we, by the way, balance the budget, but we cut taxes, and we killed the death tax. So if you're a small business person or a farmer, you don't have to sell your stuff in order to pay the taxes. So you shouldn't have to visit the undertaker and the Ohio Department of Taxation on the same day, you know? Secondly, we also were able to maintain the lower income tax, because if you have high income taxes are an impediment to job creation in a state. Texas doesn't have it. Florida doesn't have it. These are states that have an ability to grow because they've reduced the cost of doing business. And at the same time, we also said that if you're a small business person and you can invest 10% into a small business, you get a tax credit for doing that. Now, these are all things designed to get our state moving, because the only purpose that I frankly have in this job is to figure out how to get jobs created in this state. Because it's all about economic development. If you don't have a job, you know, if you don't have a job and you go home and tell your kids you lost your job, mom or dad, pretty bad. People who lose their jobs, it weakens the family. And when we weaken the family, we weaken the community. And we can't afford to do that. 1 out of every 4 kids is living in poverty today. This is bad stuff. So when we wake up every morning, we think about what do we need to do to put in place a system that can create jobs. And I was just talking to the owner here about the use of this river out here. You know, he's got the place called Muddy Misers. I said, do you think people like to go to that place because it's on the river? He said, no doubt about it. He said, if we could think about ways we could use this river more effectively, we might be able to bring some more progress to Zanesville. By the way, I'm pretty convinced that Zanesville's kind of getting it, because I visited the old Plaskolite plant, the new Plaskolite plant right here in Zanesville, and what's happening is the leaders around here are starting to get a sense that if you make it easy for people to do business, they will come here and do business. It's pretty cool. One of the things we did also in the budget is we created a private, not-for-profit operation that goes out and talks to business people about how their businesses can be expanded or how we can find new businesses. Now, I'm not an expert on river development. I'm the farthest thing from it. But I'm thinking if you use the river, that's really cool. You ever go to Pittsburgh? Like, the river's a deal. You ever been in San Antonio? See, what we have had for a long time are people who have never really had much business experience trying to figure out how to talk to business people. And frankly, that's like me trying to talk Chinese to somebody from China when I don't even know the language. So we have created a not-for-profit entity called Jobs Ohio. And we're going to move liquor profits that have been in the state since the 1920s into this entity, so they have the resources they need to go out and help recruit businesses, get businesses to expand, and get businesses to come here or to create new opportunities for us. Now, we have been in office here for, I don't know, 9 months, or is it,
10.
Seems like
10 months.
10 months. Seems like 9 years. Right here, what do we call it? Owens. You know,
Owens Corning.
I've never had that much. Yeah, I've had some vanity. Owens Brockway Glass, Container Inc., which is related to Owens Corning. 16 new jobs, 332 jobs saved. In the region here, we've had 9 projects, 390 jobs created or will be created, and 717 jobs retained. Now, let me give you the numbers for the state of Ohio. Tell your neighbors. We have been involved. When I say, what did we do? Well, we have people that go out and meet with companies. Sometimes I meet with the CEOs, the decision makers. Sometimes I call the head of the board of directors. Doesn't matter. And I talk to them about what we offer in Ohio. Now, we can't give away the store. Okay, we can't just throw money at them, because you're going to get to the point where we're not going to bid against the state, where at least in the short term, in the immediate term or the very short term, we're giving more money than we're getting. See, if we give an incentive to a company to come in here, and people are working, they pay taxes, there's ways to calculate the benefit of keeping companies. Now, when I first came into office, the first week I was in, I went to Cleveland and I met with American Greetings. American Greetings is the greeting card company. They were going to leave Ohio. Well, we went up and made an agreement with them. They now are investing in the state of Ohio, and they're staying. You don't have to pick up the paper and read that they're leaving, okay? Now, there's a little lesson here on issue 2. Because when I met them, they were in Brooklyn, Ohio. Brooklyn, Ohio just raised the taxes on the company. Company's moving. They're going to Westlake, lower costs. If people don't think, if local officials do not understand that if they drive up the costs of having businesses will leave, then they don't understand anything about job creation. Because that's a fact. Now, so we get out and we get involved, and we have been involved with 174 projects around this state. Mentioned American Greetings. I can tell you about Diebold. They were the ones that, Diebold, maybe you don't know Diebold, but they make security for your homes. They're involved in ATM machines. Their greatest competitor was NCR. NCR left Dayton and blew a hole in Dayton. This company has committed to build their new world headquarters in Canton, and they're staying, which helps the city of Canton, the airport in Canton. It's a big goddamn deal to win that. Now, a couple weeks ago, I was down in Cincinnati, and Omnicare is a company that provides prescription drugs to nursing homes. They have committed to leaving Kentucky and moving to Ohio. And the people in Kentucky said, the governor of Ohio wants to steal all of our jobs. Now, I don't want them all, but I want most of them, okay? And so, there's an example of a great win. And Wendy's, Wendy was living in Georgia. Wendy's come back to Columbus, Ohio, where Wendy's belongs. Right there is the corporate headquarters. So, in the 174 projects, we will create over time 11,865 new jobs. And we have saved, being involved with these companies, 25,245 jobs. That's over 11,000 wins for the state of Ohio in the period of these 10 months. And I think it's incredible.